When two pulses meet in the same medium, we call it superposition. Superposition is also sometimes called interference. Superposition is the resulting pulse that forms and is obtained by adding together the amplitudes of individual pulses. So the overlapping of pulses is called interference. If the two pulses form a resulting pulse with a bigger amplitude, we call that constructive interference, whilst smaller amplitude resulting pulses are called destructive interference. So you need to know those two words, constructive interference and destructive interference. So let's say this was 2 amplitude, this was 3 amplitude. When they got together, they would add together as an amplitude of 5. But then after they had gone into this constructive interference, they would just continue as if they had never met each other at all. So over here is another example. I've got a red wave and a blue wave, and the two of them together make the black wave. Two of them together, that's constructive interference, bigger troughs and bigger peaks. If I were to do something like this, where I put 2 point charge pulses together, and then we make these different waves over here, you would find the following. So if I've colored those 2 different colors, you can see that over here I've got 2 peaks, 2 peaks, 2 peaks, 2 peaks, so that's constructive interference. And over here, this is a peak, but it's the trough of the pink wave. That is the peak of the pink wave, but the trough of the green wave. Peak of green, but trough of pink. And so you go on. This is also a point of 2 troughs, 2 troughs, 2 troughs. So this is all constructive interference line. The same would be true here and here. And then over here you have got destructive interference lines. I'm going to just blow that up a little bit for you, and let's see what we can see. So if I just kind of take 2 pinks like that and 2 greens like that, let's make this pink a little bit bigger, you have got, I'm just going to put some dotted lines in between. That is a trough of the pink wave, and that is a trough of the green wave. So what you can say is, here is a peak and a trough, destructive, peak, trough, peak, trough, peak, trough. So those are all destructive. Whilst over here we've got a peak and a peak, a trough and a trough, a peak and a peak, a peak and a peak, and a peak and a peak, and those are all constructive. So that's just like a little blow up of one of these little patches over there. There's another thing which comes from interference, and that is what are known as standing waves. So if I plucked a guitar string, it vibrates after it is plucked, and it's fixed on both ends. So what you actually set up is the energy stays trapped in the string, and you set up an interference pattern between the incident and the reflective wave. The points don't move. Some points don't move. They're called nodes, whilst those that move the most are called internodes. So if I had something like this, the incident wave, the reflected wave, these now set up a pattern of interference between these 2 fixed ends. These points won't move at all, and those are called nodes, whilst these points move the most up and down, and those are called antinodes.